I don't know why I cover this kind of shit. Sometimes I just do it just because, part of me on one level, a little bit of the suicidal tendencies, the ideation, the self-harm, but I'm fine. But anyway, let's talk about it because this is going to be a thing that right-wingers talk about. And also, like, right-wingers, man, can we talk about how stupid right-wingers are, man? This shit, like, I really... It makes my blood boil, and it also just, it makes me so puzzled that, like, again, I want to remind everyone that right-wingers are, like, they're driving cars, like, they're operating machines, like, right? They're doing all these things that, like, any random mistake and you're dead, and you leave that, you let them drive these giant metal death machines around, right? You let them, like, make food and stuff. Like, right-wingers are fucking crazy. But anyway, USA Today names, this is from Fox News, names transgender Biden official as one of its Women of the Year. So, for whatever reason, people get mad about this, and I'm going to participate in the culture war because, I have no self-respect. But anyway, USA Today included a transgender government official appointed by President Biden in their 2022 Women of the Year list. Rachel Levine, Assistant Secretary for Health at Assistant Secretary for Health at Health and Human Services, appeared to be the only transgender woman included on the publication's list of women they wanted to honor. That's the first problem, is that I'm not on the list. Like, we got to be very clear here. Everyone write to USA Today. There's a crazy problem with this list here. And it's that I'm not on it. That's the problem. So anyway, USA Today shared their reasons for why each person was selected. Well, I'm glad that they shared reasons, that sounds like it makes sense. Every day across our country, USA Today's Women of the Year, oh my God. Lead and inspire, promote and fight for equity. Give others a place to seek help and find hope. That's sound like a Barack Obama speech here. They're strong and resilient women who have been champions of change and courage, often quietly, but with powerful results. I don't even know what that means. And often, despite their own challenges, some of the women may be familiar names. Others may be new to you. Each has an inspiring and powerful story the editors wrote. Okay, so that's cool. So let's get a recap here. So again, we're reading an article from Fox News about USA Today talking about a trans woman in the Woman of the Year list. So let's be very clear here, right? When we talk about the whole trans thing, right-wingers love to talk about how, like, men are beating the shit out of women in, like, boxing or something. That doesn't happen. There's no reported case of that, but okay, right? It's not fair to the women, the real women. That's what they love to say. They love the real girl stuff, like the stupid bullshit. And then whenever you try to say, like, what's a real woman, they'll talk about chromosomes, and then you bring up, like, intersex, chromosomal disorders, and just, like, there's also just, like, examples of people that have, like, the opposite chromosomes of what is typically associated with their, it's just, but, right-wingers don't care about that. They just all, nuance, all science out the window, right? And, but they usually go, like, oh, well, it's just the science, man. It's just the science, right? Men aren't women. It's the science, bro, when it comes to sports. So I ask you this. Okay, with that in mind, you might think that, like, there's people out there that might think that that's a reasonable debate. They're wrong. It's not a reasonable debate. It's a dumb debate. You're stupid, right? But for whatever reason, the American zeitgeist, they think, oh, yeah, I mean, it's a reasonable debate. Now, my question is, okay, in what universe is this a reasonable debate, right? Who cares? Like, first of all, it's a list of multiple Women of the Year, right? So the typical complaints of, like, oh, a man is winning Women of the Year, and now all the women are just gonna try it so hard. First of all, who is trying so hard to win the USA Today Women of the Year list? Like, my God, like, I'm gonna dedicate my life to getting on the USA Today Women of the Year list. No one cares. Second of all, there's multiple people on the list. Third of all, why am I reading this article? Fourth of all, who the fuck cares? Who cares? Who cares, dude? Like you can imagine, and I'm gonna read the comment section because, again, self-harm. The media outlet hailed Levine for becoming the nation's highest-ranking openly transgender official last March. When the Senate confirmed her as Assistant Secretary of Health, they continued, Levine has spent her professional life in medicine as an academic, a clinical researcher, a primary care physician, and as Pennsylvania's physical general and secretary. So the physical general, as opposed to the, like, ethereal general of the Pennsylvania Department of Health, but she admits her current role has proven to be the most challenging. In a video accompanying Levine's post, USA Today columnist Suzette Hackney Celebrated Levine as a groundbreaking leader who credits family support with helping her succeed. She added, Admiral Levine wants her work to be a shining example for all. The Assistant Secretary for HHS told Hackney that everything I've ever done has all led to this moment. That's true. It's called the domino effect. Look it up. I really feel that everything I've ever done, whether it was in academic medicine and education and clinical research, seeing my patients and my role of public health in Pennsylvania and now my role nationally, has all led to the moment in terms of helping this nation through the greatest public health crisis that we've ever faced in over 100 years. Hackney praised Levine for planning to meet the moment with courage and integrity. The Babylon Bee mocked the publication's decision to include Levine. So I just want to, before we scroll down here, okay, so this is the situation. So the first part of this article is basically, yeah, she did a great job. She's doing a good job. She's trying her best. She's not perfect. No one's perfect. And, okay, she's one of the women of the year on the big list of women of the year. Okay. So so they're stating the case. They're giving us the factual recap of events here. And then I wonder what the other side is saying. So again, this is a Fox News article. Reminder, everyone. I wonder what the other side is saying. What's the criticism? What's the backlash? What's the response? So this is the response, obviously very unfunny. Others took issue with the outlet honoring Levine for COVID leadership when, as Pennsylvania Secretary of Health, she faced a nursing home scandal similar to the one under former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Levine faced scrutiny in May 2020 for moving her mother out of a personal care facility after being notified that residents were testing positive for COVID-19, just 2 months before Levine had ordered recovered COVID patients in hospitals to be sent to a nearby nursing home. So anyway, now it's fine if you want to criticize her on policy, right? But again, I want to be very clear, right? This is in mainstream media. This is Fox News. They're talking about this, right? And their example of the response, okay, so this person is named Woman of the Year. The response is, but she's a man. That's the response. I'm why would you, if you're you're trying to promote the idea that trans people are bad, right? Why would you do this is not going to get a fence sitter. I'm sorry. This is how you make your own position look worse. Twitter has suspended accounts of users who, quote, misgendered Levine. I love how that's in quotes, by the way. Including Rep. Jim Banks, R-Ind. Last week, Levine sat on an all-female panel and discussion entitled A Conversation with HHS Women Leaders to Celebrate Women's History Month. So, I don't know, man. Let's look at the comments here. All right, so I'm done looking at the comments. Anyway, this country sucks. It's just who cares? I don't know, man. This is who cares? I cannot possibly imagine caring about this at all. I can't. And then just the way that trans people are talked about in the media, it's just it's horrible. And so it's just and why am I reading this? I shouldn't read this. But I am because, self-harm and no one else cares. So, no one else gives a fuck about trans people. So I might as well do my best to, to cover that. But anyway, there you go. It's just, it's so cringy. I really can't. It's so cringy. I just, thinking about how stupid Americans are. Again, dumb fuck motherfuckers. They're just so, I want to be very clear that, again, for whatever reason, it's considered a reasonable debate. The trans people in sports thing is considered reasonable debate in this country. But this is one side of the debate is just going to say that about every trans person ever anywhere doing anything at all. Right? So that that side of the it's a pipeline to bring regular people that are apolitical into just hating minorities for no reason. There's no reason. There's just no reason whatsoever. At all. There's none. That's it. But anyway. Let's keep going.